Hello, class. So for O11, the IXL lesson O11 it's called writing fractions in lowest terms. Um, another another math term people use is simplest form, and both of those expressions are the same. So I forget if you did this. If you haven't done this, just pause this video and do that. Oh, excuse me. That's what I get for trying to make a joke. Excuse me. All right, so simplest form, and they call it what? Writes in lowest terms. And I'm going to be using grid paper for this. So if you have some grid paper, yeah, get that. Have that out. Have that handy. So essentially, what fractions in lowest terms means, if you have a number like these numbers here, where it says they give you fractions like 6/24ths, 9/45ths, or even these 5/40ths, 5/20ths, or 6/30ths. There's an easier way to say that. And the easier way to say that is the fraction that we started with. See, when we did this, I feel like we did this a while ago, we gave you the simplest form, right? It's either this, remember these cards? Some of these cards, like that's simplest form. 1/4, look, 1 out of 4. Just like I planned. Not really. Here's an example. Now here, it's another one that's simplest form. This... do I have any of those? No, I guess, well, that's good enough for now. Let's start with a numerator of 1. So if it's 1 out of 4, what we did to get 2/8 is we doubled it. Well, if somebody gives you 2/8, and for this I'm going to start off with drawing just because it's fun for me. Let's say you had 2 brown, 2, what was it, 8? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So if you have 2/8, you can essentially get rid of that, right? And you have 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how 2/8 can be 1/4. And if you think about, well, that's one example. So 2/8 is 1/4. And let's say you forgot. Let's say, down here. One question that the book gives you, IXL. One question that IXL gives you is, it starts off with something like 4, let's say it's 4/12. And they want you to do it in lowest terms. Well, some people like to take, say, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 12, different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you see what I did there? I know it has to be 12. And the top is 4. So what I did was I kind of distributed them in rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And all you really need is 1, because they're all the same. So get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this, and that leaves you with 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, that's not 4, that's 3. 1, boop, out of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's how 4/12 equals 1/3. And some of you, for whom math is easy, and you see relationships easy, you might see 4/12 and do something like this. You might say, well, I can divide both of these numbers by 4, because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and I can divide 12 by 4, and that equals 3. And both of these are valid. Hopefully you get to a point where you start to look at fractions and you see in your head that 4/12 is 1/3. Maybe by 5th or 6th grade you'll see that. So I'm going to scan over here in IXL. That's another thing. Well, I'm sure they'll give you something like maybe a 5. How about 5 over... What's something that 5 can go into? Oh, how about 5 into 30? There we go. So 5 into 30. Now, remember when I draw my arrays, what I do is I start with the denominator. So 5, I need to put 5 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need 30. So I'm going to do 30 little dots. and I have 5, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Man, this is pretty cumbersome, huh? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Ugh. I feel like that's a lot of work. And one thing that I've learned about mathematicians, actually a mathematician taught me this, they said mathematicians are lazy. If there's an easy way to do something, a simpler way, mathematicians like the simpler way. Some of them. Not all mathematicians are the same. So 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 out of 6. Now, will this always work? Not always. That's why it's good to try the other routes of drawing the numerator, or representing the numerator as a number, 5/30ths. And then say to yourself, how do I make 5? Well, I can divide it by 5 because it's prime, right? How do you make 30? Well, you can divide 30 by 5. Because I know 5 times this number, right? 5 times that number is that. That's why we spend so much time with division. 30 divided by 5 is this. 5 divided by 5 is that. So, woof. Either way, you start looking at numbers and finding ways to reduce, finding ways to make them smaller. Remember, we started when we were doing, another thing to think of is we were doing all this work. Where is it? Here it is. So we were doing all this work, right? You spent all this time. Let me focus on fourths. I haven't even finished my fourths because I got so busy with other activities. But I think what your equivalent fraction should look like, right? 1/4. There it is. So 1/4 here. 1/4 is the same as, I need a matching pen, right? That would be nice. So 1 out of 4, I double it. 2 out of 8. What if you triple both of those? Triple that, 3. Oh, I already did it, 12. So how about 4? So 4 times that is 4. 4 times this is this. To get to 20, how do I go from 4 to 20? Do you remember? I have to multiply by 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 5 is 5. And lastly, 1 times 6 is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So what you were doing here was you were taking the simplest form. What do they call it? Lowest term. You're taking 1 out of 4, and you're finding other 1. Oh yeah, here we go. 1 out of 4. And that's the same as 2 out of 8, right? So, I remember. The way we did it was this. I'm doing it the right way. We did 1, I'll just do x's. So we did 1 out of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And if it's 1 out of 4, it's going to be 2 out of, and you double it. So when you're doing, when you're doing doing it the other way, the inverse, if you're given a fraction like 4/20ths, and you can't remember what that is in simplest form, maybe you have to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And think, okay, 4 out of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wow, got it almost perfect. So there's 4 out of 20. I don't need these. I need 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 out of 5, which, sure enough, that was the simplest form for 1 out of 5. Now, if this is, you feel like it's going too fast, or you feel like, please understand, I've been blah, blah, blah. So, if you need help with this, just let me know. My hope for you is that you just start to understand that for equivalent fractions, if you are given something, let me do one more here. Let me do this. How about 8 over, not that, I don't want to do that. I want to do something more like, how about this? There. So the reason I'm doing that, because I think all of you, hopefully all of you know your eighths, right? You could do, for 8, you could do 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, right? But you can't do, 8 doesn't go into 36 or 26 perfectly. So what you do in this situation, you could do the drawing thing like I did earlier. Or you could take 8 and say, how do you make 8? Well, you could do 2 times 4. That's how you make 8, isn't it? And can't you make 26 using 2 times something? You could do 2 times 13. So then you take, okay, remember I'm crossing things out? I don't need that. What I need is 4 thirteenths. So that's fractions. That's one way to do fraction in simplest form. So I'm happy to do more videos about writing fractions in lowest terms. Just let me know. Okay. Aloha, everybody.